Fort Myers, Florida. It is Tuesday, February 10th, and we are going to work with our Easter basket bundle this evening. So come on in, make yourself at home. I'm going to open up the chat, so give me just a minute where I can go ahead and get all of this done in advance. All right. Let's see if that's going to post. There we go. All right, so we are on, we are streaming, and we are ready to go. It's 6:56, so we'll start in about 5 minutes. Let me know once you come on where you're from. If this is your first time watching, welcome. Adjust my camera. This is bad. You don't have to, oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cover up my head. There we go. So it is 6:57. We'll get started shortly. And then I will introduce myself and talk about what we're going to do this evening and a few other housekeeping things that I wanted to let you all know about. Hey, Karen, how are you? I know, finally it's warm. And then I put on a, my husband had the front door open, the screen door and the windows, and it was cold. So I had to go put on my pajama top. But anyway, it's fine. I had to get comfortable, and so it worked out. But now I'm a little warm, but that's okay. I'd rather be like this than freezing to death. I hate the cold weather. So, anything new on your going on with you guys? Got any vacation plans or anything scheduled? We're going to be going to Portugal in April. And I want to say it's almost 3 weeks, maybe 2.5, something like that week. We're going to do Portugal and hit some different areas there. And then I think we're taking a high-speed train to France. And then I don't know what we're doing. I just go along for the ride because my husband does all the work. Anyway, I know. You know, it's sad that sometimes you don't even get out of your pajamas. I mean, I take a shower and I put clothes on, and then I'm like, I'm not going to put my comfy clothes on because, you know, I don't want to have anything tight around my stomach. Anyway, but I do have to walk the dog every 3.5 hours, so I do have to go out in public. So I have to do that, but it's okay. It's all right. All right, welcome everybody. Come on in, have a seat. Let's see what's happening out there. Oh, good for you. I'm sure she'll be, oh my gosh, she'll be happy to be here from New York. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Chuck's brother, 2 brothers were going to come in this week with their wives. One was going to come, Barry, who bought a place here, just to have a place to come visit him. He's been coming like for well, he started in January after he bought into the place. But anyway, so he'll be here for 10 days, I think, or 2 weeks. His wife's coming for like 5 days. The other brother was supposed to come, but he got sick like over a week ago. Has yet to go to the doctor. He finally went today after we browbeat him and said, you can't fly down here. You can't come to visit. So they're not coming. It's just crazy. You know, you think you know better, but whatever. So it's okay. It's all good. But yeah, it's cold. They're coming from Virginia, from the Williamsburg area. So it's cold up there too, but not anything like New York, that's for sure. We're still going to have a good old time to take around and sightsee and do all that fun stuff, huh? So, well, that's awesome. All right, we're going to get started in another couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself for those that are here, and I know, and talk about just a couple of things, and then we'll get started. I only have one. We'll probably do 2 cards, but I have one that's not that difficult, but there's a lot. Maybe it took me longer because I was cutting everything, but it's a unique opening, so that's the fun part. So to be on the other coast. Oh, they're not coming to see. Wait a minute. Oh, she's gonna be here Friday. They'll be on the other. On the other coast. Oh, well, hopefully they're not too far away. That maybe you can go visit with them. So, all right, I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I have been doing this 15 years this month. Craziness. I am coming to you live from Fort Myers, Florida, and I think the temperature right now is probably in maybe 70, 72. So we're having a heat wave here. Well, not a heat wave, but a heat wave compared to what we've been having, which has been mornings at 40 to 46 degrees. So that's cold for us people down here in the South. So anyway, all right. A couple of just updates. If you placed any orders last month and you received some bonus coupons, you need to use those up this month of February because they will go away. If you don't use them, then you lose them. So make sure that you use up your coupons that you have. If you don't really need to order anything, I would highly, encourage you to order like glue, any kind of adhesive that you might use or something, depending on how many you have. So keep that in mind. The other thing, there's a great, and I mentioned this last week, there's a great join offer. We have a new stamp positioning tool that if you join during the month of February, you have until the, I want to say it's March 3rd. You will get that complement to Stampin' Up. There will be no charge. It's a $49 value. They will put that in your starter kit, and then you get to choose $125 worth of product for the low cost of $99 plus sales tax and for whatever your state charges, and then we cover the shipping. And that will run, I think, through March 3rd. So keep that in mind. That's a great time. Even if you don't have to do it as a business or teach classes, you can just get a 20% discount on your own purchases, and you'd be able to do that for, let's see, we're in February, March, April, May, probably about 4 months. Because then if you don't hit a minimum of $300 in sales for the quarter, then you'll just be dropped and go back to being a customer that's paying full price for your product. So just wanted to throw that out there. If you need more information, just reach out to me and let me know. Information is below the video, so you can either text me, message me, email me, however you want to get a hold of me. I'll be more than happy to give you some information on that as well. So, yeah, you definitely want to meet up. All right, so we've got some people watching from online. We're going to work with the Easter basket bundle, and let me show you. Now, hang on. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera down. I'm going to show you the paper as well as the dies and the set. Hang on a minute. Let me just get everything with the risky here. Hang on. I just want to adjust my camera. So we make sure we get everything in there. I try to make it go back up a little bit. Sorry, you guys. Okay, I think that's going to work. Let's see. Let me see if we can get this down. Now I'm going to go up a little bit. How's that? It's a little bit too hot. Oh, you know what? Let me move it up a little bit. This is the part that I hate because I have to wobble everything. Hang on. All right. I think that'd be good because the paper is not going to be here. All right. This is the Easter basket bundle. There is 12 stamps, and we have 15 dies. So this is the new packaging. If you haven't seen it, which I'm sure everybody has by now, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sentiments, and then you've got all sorts of different things that you can use for flowers and carrots and rabbits and birds and eggs and all that good stuff. So that's the photopolymer stamp set. Put it down here where you can see it. And then these are the dies. These are the 2 different larger bunnies. This is a small bunny. I think this is for those flowers, some leaves, some tulips. The eggs, these are grass. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I think that might be for the basket. And then this is, you'll see, we're going to use this. This is the basket. We're going to use, anyways, I've already got everything pre-cut, so we'll go with that. So this is something that is available, and it is available through my online store. Okay, so that's that. And then this is the paper that's part of that bunch. Now, I've tried to pull out the pieces so that you can see. And I think I might have said this to you once before, but I'm going to say it to you again. I'm going to try to say this is one of the papers. Now, and then it's got that on the back side. And then this is real pretty. We've used that one before. This front top part there. And then we've got some stripes. with some crumb tape on the back. This we're going to be using several of these pieces. You can see that pretty. This one's got a really light balmy blue, and then this one's full of eggs. So you can either cut these out or fussy cut them, whichever works for you. And then, in addition to the paper, you get this one sheet that has all of these different designs. So you can, let me put it this way so it's right cut up. So you can just cut out these squares and cut them down and make a card front. I mean, they've already done the work for you. If we have time, which we should, this is going to be a very simple card, and I'm just going to show you how we can do that. This one is real cute. You could stamp some flowers in here. You could do all sorts of different things. And the same up here, you could put two of those. So you get 2 sheets of these, and then this is the back side of it. So it's kind of like a checkerboard look. It's sky shamrock and balmy blue. Okay. So with that being said, let me pull in the card and show this to you. Let's put this down so I don't have to fiddle with it. Okay. So this is a card. Now, it's not that hard, but it's a lot of the little pieces working together. So it took me some time. By the time I cut everything, which obviously you all weren't going to do because I've done it. But we do have some coloring. But I want to show you, hang on, I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. I want to show you, this is how this opens. All right, ready? We know how to do this fold, but look at this. It's going to slide off, and then we're going to open the card, and then that's how we've decorated the inside of the card. Isn't that cute? So this is the opening, and I'm going to show you how to make that, and I'll give you all of the measurements. Now, it's easier, rather than trying to slide it down, I just slide it on the side and pull it up just enough that I can tuck this piece right in between the two and then lay it down. Now, it's going to be probably a little bit thicker than the mail. Now, this isn't quite all the way flat, but if you put something over top, I don't think you would end up paying any more postage for it. I didn't actually weigh it, but anyway, so this is what we're going to make, okay? And if we have time, then we're going to make that other card. So I've got everything cut out. And let me go ahead and do that. And let me get my instructions so I can give you the measurements. So I'll put them right here under my computer here so I can see them. All right. So we're going to use Lemon Lolly cardstock. And of course, that's going to be our 8.5 by 5.5. And this is going to be scored at 2 1/8 on both ends of the card. Okay. So 2 1/8 on both ends. All right. I know, don't you love this? It's cute, get everything put out. And if you have the big shot or, whatever you want to call it, y'all have the similar thing, the big shot or our Stampin' Up boss machine. Once you have the larger one, it makes it a lot easier to cut a bunch of things at one time. So that makes it a little bit quicker. All right, so that's how our card front's going to look for now. So I'm going to set that off to the side. We don't need that just yet. All right, now let me push all this stuff off to the side, and then I'm going to give you some measurements here. All right, so we are going to start. Now, this is the paper, but we're going to flip it over. So you're going to cut 2 of these, which are 2 inches by 5 3/8, and they're going to go on the front of the card as the gatefold, okay? So let's go ahead, as I'm talking, we'll go ahead and just start putting stuff down. We might as well. And this paper is a specialty paper, and it's a little bit thicker than normal. Let me get my camera. Hang on. Let me bring this up just a little bit. So I don't want y'all to miss out on me having everything right here. I got it a little bit closer for me so that I can see what I'm doing, but I think we're good. Let's clean off my thing here. I forgot to clean off my glue on my Stampin' glass mat. Okay. Pardon me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add these. Let me get my adhesive over here. We're going to go ahead and add these, and you need to cover up this stuff, right? But we're going to put the green down, and that green is sky shamrock. It's got pretty and pink. Pink pie is in here. All sorts of different, really nice colors. So we're going to just apply that right here on the side flap of our card front, or our gatefold, if you will. So let's get that in there. All right, we're going to put that on there. And you might want to put a little bit extra because this paper is a little bit heavy. So it might take a little bit more to hold it in place. All right. So, and I just think this is such a really cute. I love this paper. And I like the, because I think this is really good for spring. So even if you don't make Easter cards or what have you, you can make some nice spring cards with that. So again, these are 2 inches by 5 3/8. So of course you're going to need 2 of those. All right. And then we're going to need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of the card. And let me just give me 1 second. This piece here is a little. I just realized it's got a little saggy on it. I'm just going to cut this pad off just to get that. I probably do that worse. So let me get my. Hold on a minute. Let me get my sanding box, and we'll just think of this thing. Hang on a second. I didn't even notice that until just now. I'm going to use the sanding block, and I'm just going to go around and just kind of take those little threaded pieces. That just tells me that I need to flip my blade over. So, you can flip it from one side, one end to the other, and that helps to keep it from threading. The one side will get dull. If you pull it straight down all the time, then that one end will get dull, so you can just flip it over. Okay, I think that's good. Let me clean that off of here so we don't get all this in our glue. All right. Okay. So this will be the next thing. Now I'm going to leave this out because we're going to do a little bit of stamping and coloring on this in just a minute. We're going to do that, but I'm going to work on the mechanism. Okay. So we need, whoops, hang on. I've lost one of my little doodaddies. Oh, there it is. Hang on. I got all these pieces over here to make our basket. So we're going to have 2 pieces, and I'm going to give you these measurements. And then all of this stuff right here, I'll go over what it is when we get ready to do that, okay? All right. So this is the backing of the locking mechanism, and these are 2, let me see, 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. So 2 7/8 by 4 1/8, and you need 2 of these. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of basic white that are 2 3/4 by 4. And then you want to score these in the middle. So that's going to be what, 2 3/4. That will be at 1 1/2, right? 1 1/2. No. Yes. 1 1/2, 1 1/2. 1 and 1 3. My apologies. Okay, 1 3. So just fold it. You can score to fold it in half. Okay, so we're going to fold these, and we're going to give it a good burnish. All right. We're going to fold this one, and you want to make sure that they're lined up, because this is going to be the mechanism that we're going to use to close our card. Okay. So we're going to burnish that. And then you're going to need a piece of designer paper. And this is going to be, I think it's going to be the 2 3/4. Let me just measure real quick. It's going to be, yes, 2 3/4 by 4 inches. Okay. 2 3/4 by 4. And then these are 2 3/4 by 4. And you just want to score them in half. All right. Okay. So now we'll put that over there. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to fold these in half like we've done and burnish it. And we're going to add some adhesive. Now you want the fold to go into the center. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down on here. And then the other one, let me get in here because I want to make sure I see. Then the other one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to butt them up, right? So that the fold is going to go to the center. And then you're going to butt them right up next to each other. And it's going to leave a small amount of lemon lolly showing through. And then this will go on top. And that's how we're going to create our opening mechanism. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to go ahead and glue this down. I would probably Well, I'm using the liquid glue only because I want to move it around, but you could use this, you could use Karen tape or whatever, but I want to make sure I've got it right where I can just barely see probably a 16th of an inch on the side right here. Let me get over here so y'all can see. And then I want to get this one in there, and that's going to work right. All right. So again, the fold goes towards the center. Okay. So we're going to put some glue on this one. Make sure so it doesn't come off. And we're going to flip that around. That's the fold. It's going to go butt right up next to your other piece. All right. And then we're going to let's put that right there for a minute. Okay. All right. And then now we're going to add this on top. So we can add our adhesive to these pieces so it's going to lay right on top of the white. I think I'm going to put the glue on here. I'd rather do that to be on the safe side. So let's just come all the way down here because we don't want to get it to where it's going to cover the closing part, right? We want to keep that open. All right, so I'm going to lay this on here, try to get it lined up. And then easier for me is I'm going to take it and stand it up. And I'm going to make sure it's all lined up, which it is. And I'm going to give it a good crease with this. And then I've got to find something heavy. I'm going to put something on it. Oops, I was going to use that. Well, I'll do the back side. There we go. Get that off there. We're going to put something heavy on here to hold this down. So I think I'll use my water gun. So we'll just flip that over because no one's going to see that part. We'll make this the front. You can see it's off just a little bit here. So let's see what we need to do. It's lined up on one side. All right. So I'm going to leave that right there and let it just adhere itself. I think it'll be fine. So we're going to set that right off to the side. Okay. And then while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on there, our piece of designer paper. So let's do that. And then we're going to go back and do our inside piece while this is sitting, and then we'll start decorating and getting our basket put together. So make sure I got my flowers going in the right direction. I don't use this lemon lolly that often, but I really like the color. I have it, but I just never use it. So I think we'll be seeing some more of lemon lolly this spring. All right, so there's the front of our card. Okay, so we're going to leave that right there for just a minute. Let that sit because we want to make sure that holds. Now we're going to do some decorating here. Let me come in. I'm putting this down because we're going to end up stamping off. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Let's make sure. Yep. And we're going to do some stamping for the inside of the card. So I'm going to come in with our side shamrock. I'm not sure why. Oh, I know why I have. We're going to do our side shamrock, and we're going to stamp. Easter's on its way. We're going to stamp that right in the center. Okay. And let's close that up. We don't end up wearing it. All right. And then we're going to come in with these flowers. And I'm going to stamp these. Oh, that closed my green. I'm going to stamp these in Sky Shamrock as well. And we are going to color these with our blend. So now these you know what, I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper. Hang on. Oh, guess what I did? I dumped out my recycling trash can. It was getting so full. I thought I was going to do this thing. Okay. We'll just do this. Now we're going to stamp. We're going to stamp all these in Sky Shamrock, and then we're going to come back and color them with our stamp and blend. All right. So, and you want to stamp them so it looks like a field of flowers. So I'm going to stamp right on the edge, and then some of them I'm going to come off a little bit, and then some will come down to make it look like a little bit lower, so that you don't look all the same height. Right. So we'll just do some there. Oops, missed that one. Guess what? We're going to flip this over and do this again. Okay, because I didn't like the way that looked. So let me find my Easter stamp. See what happens? That's why we have two-sided paper. And I'm going to stamp that right here. For some reason, the paper looks like it's dirty. Okay, let's try our flowers again. All right, so we're going to stamp that up. We're going to stamp on here. And then we're going to stamp. For some reason, I've got, we're going to come down a little bit and stamp. And I'm just going to go up and down one a little bit higher. And try to keep them close. One down. And then we're going to do another one up. All right, so that's that. Now we'll close this up. Now we're going to do some coloring. And then that will, once we get that done, then we'll be ready to work on putting the basket together. So we're going to color petal pink. I'm sorry, pretty in pink. Yeah, pretty in pink. We're using peach pie dark, pretty in pink light, lemon lolly, and sky shamrock. We're just going to color these. So I'm just picking and choosing which ones I want. So I'm going to color a couple of the flowers in the pretty in pink. To get over here, we all can see. And then we'll color some with the peach pie. We're going to do the inside with lemon lolly. So we'll be pulling that color in from the cardstock. And then we got to go back with our sky shamrock and color. Let's see, that's going to be orange. Let's do this one pink. I'm going to do all the same colors and we'll come back and do those. And that's going to be it. So we're just going to do the same thing. Makes it easier, and then we'll come back and do our leaf and sky shamrock as well. So this just kind of dresses up the inside of the card. And we'll come, let's see, we can do that one. Let's do this one. So it's really a nice card. It's really easy to make. It's just time consuming when you start cutting out all of the pieces that you need when you start to see what we're going to do. You'll understand why it took a little bit of time, but it's okay. I got a lot of them done at one whack because I put them on the same piece of paper. So, all right. And now we'll come in with our dark peach pie, and I'm just going to fill these in. So I'm just pulling the same colors that they've got on the paper, right? So we'll just do that. All of a sudden, I'm about to sweat to death in here. Now I've got the lights on and my pajama top, my heavy pajama top on. Oh, well, it's all right. All right, we'll get that done. I find it relaxing to color. I like to do, I've got a couple of coloring books that I have that I'll just sit down sometimes and just start coloring. You know, it's just very relaxing. All right, so there's our flowers. Now we got to come back in, and this will be pretty easy because we're just going to do a little dab of lemon lolly in the middle of the flowers. So that won't take that much time. Do that, and we'll do that. Do that. I'm going to really enjoy this card, aren't I? And right there. Not really see much of that lemon lolly, but that's okay. And then we've got our sky shamrock stamp and blend. And we're going to come in and just color in these little leaves right here. So I'm using this small pointy tip, not the larger tip, because that way I'd have ink all over the cardstock. So we're just going to color this in. And get this done. All right. Just a lot of small, intricate pieces, right? All right. And if you all are not on my newsletter, you might want to sign up for it. And I sent a survey out, and I've gotten quite a few responses back. And once I get those back in, then I will compile those, and I'm going to it's going to basically set up based on what you think your level of stamping is and your um, expertise or whatever, and then that way I'll just start sending you information I think you would benefit from. So, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please make sure you do that. This is really driving me crazy because it's still a little funky. Hang on one second. I'm gonna try to stand this down. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on the inside of our card. Might as well do that now. So we'll put that right there. Isn't that pretty? It really does look nice with the lemon lolly. It makes it look very springy. All right, so we're gonna put some adhesive on here, and now we're gonna start building our Easter basket. Get that right on there. I might have to put something right there to cover that up. I might have to find a butterfly or something. Got a little smudge right there. Okay. All right. So now this is how. All right. So you can see that how it opens. So I'm gonna just pull it a little bit like that, just to get it to when we get ready to slide it on. It'll work a lot easier. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna start building our basket. All right. So the size, I've got the basket cut out. I did cut 3 carrots. Now this here, hang on, let me get my carrot. All right, we got 3 carrots we're going to decorate. We got 2 pieces of grass that we're going to use. We have, we did a bow and our grass, and then a bunny rabbit, and then we've got 2 Easter eggs. I'm going to cut these out. I'm going to fussy cut those. And then this here, I didn't realize what this was for. I had to ask around. This is for the basket. So we're going to weave this through here in our basket to give us some color. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to come through here and just kind of bend these up so I can get the paper through. And this is balmy blue and this is crumb tape. And let me get my tape because I found it easier just to tape it down on the back just to hold them in place. So this is kind of the part that's just a little bit, it's not hard. Once you get it started, you can put them right through. So I'm just going to feed them in and just go, in between. Pardon me. And once you get it moving, then the paper kind of moves itself. So you can just pull it back and tuck it through, lift it up and then push it through. Well, now I'm going to make it harder than it is. Not that difficult. And then we'll just keep doing the same thing, keep pushing it through. And then once we get it through, then we'll adjust where they need to go. And then we can tighten it down. You can glue them on the back if you want. I'm just going to I put Scotch tape on it. Just made it easier. All right. So we're going to line those up. I'm just going to go ahead and push this up as far as I can. And then we'll do the others. This is just a piece. I just wanted to show you how it comes out. And then I'm not sure what we could do with that outside piece. We probably could use that for something. Who knows? All right. So I'm just going to I'm going to put 4 in here. I think 4 looks fine. I did 4 on this one. Yeah. We probably could have just done 3, but I like the 4. So we're just going to just keep weaving it in. And this is the part that you got to have a little bit of patience, right? So push it through. Once you get it, it kind of does its thing. We can push this one down and then push that one through. Come on now, don't make a liar out of me. All right, and then we'll just do the same thing here. Push that one down. I'm getting my finger in the way that way. There we go. And we can kind of push them up, pop them through the basket to weave it in. I was acting like it was going to be easy to do, but maybe not. There we go. And then we'll do this one down here. And that's going to come up that way. Hang on. There we go. All right. So we're going to get this up. We'll probably just do 3. Maybe 3 will be fine. All right. And then we'll adjust them as we need to. And then we'll put the 4th one in. So we'll just go through the same thing. This is the part that I found to be a little tedious, but it's when I didn't know what that was. And then when they told me, I thought, started pushing them through, and I thought, oh my God. But that's it. whoever gets this card is going to love it because it's cutie patootie. All right, let's get all this going here. Put that one through there. See, it's a little tight, so, but that's all right. We'll get it in there. I had probably had a better way to do this, but that's all right. We're gonna see it through. We only got 2 more places to go. Get it in there. Come on, Mama. Let me get my tweezers. Hold on a second. Probably be easier to pull it through with my tweezers. There we go. There we go. This one might be a little bit thicker for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna get that one in there. How did this one get on underneath and that one went on top? What did I do? Under, over, under, under, under. Oh, I see what I did. Hold on. I went over. Hang on. I'm going to have to go back. Look at that. I jumped a gun here. Thought that looked kind of strange. Let me just hold it up. There we go. We're going to get it through here. I missed the loop-de-doop. That's why it looked funny. Pull it back. And we'll pop it in there. There we go. Pop that in. Pop that over. I thought something looked a little weird. And pop that one down there. That's why it's probably not going through as well. Right? And see, this is the part that I said would be a little trickier. And I'm probably making it harder than it is, but that's all right. There we go. So we'll get that there. That should work. Now, do I have them right? I think I do. Okay, so we're going to get them lined up. Make sure they're even and straight. Make sure they're spaced out correctly as I make a boo-boo there. Let's see. All right, I think that's good. Let's move this one down. I'm going to trim off the edges, but I'm going to tape it down first. Make sure I've got them. I haven't missed. Oh, I did miss one, didn't I? Okay, hang on. This one over. I did the same thing right here. Look at that. Not paying attention, you guys. This one has to go under here. Hang on. I keep hitting it with my hand. I know. Like, where's it gone? All right, there we go. One more little loop, no, 2. Hang on. I keep hitting it with my hand. All right, we're getting it there. We're getting it there. Come on, Mama. I can get it through. Come on. Let me push it. Let me push it through. Come on. There we go. All right, now we've got it in there. Okay, see what I mean? All right, so we're going to line these up. I'm only going to put 3 in here because it will drive me crazy. I think that looks good. We're going to trim off these sides so it doesn't matter. All right, I think that looks pretty even. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over and put some tape on this. Hey, Linda, how are you? And I'm just going to put some Scotch tape down to hold it in place. That's all. That way, they're not going to go anywhere, and no one's going to see that. Okay, that's going to hold that there. And now I can go ahead and trim off my excess pieces of the let's see, that one we might want to leave. Let's see. Yeah. All right, and then we'll cut these off. Just come right to the edge of the basket. We're doing a new fun fold opening. And we're going to trim this one off right there. And it should be good. All right, so there's our basket. We have another piece that we'll move that out of the way. Okay, so there's the basket. Let me cut these. There is a die that you can cut these out. I just cut off a piece of one of the pieces of a designer paper that had all these Easter eggs on it rather than stamping in, which I could stamp, right, and cut it out and color it. I just went ahead and picked these 2, and that's what we're going to use. Because we're going to tuck them in, so you're not going to see them anyways, right? So we'll leave it just like that. I'm going to just trim that off some. All right, so we're going to leave that. Okay, so that's going to go there. All right, now, So now we'll start building our Easter egg. Now, our basket. What I did was I popped this up on dimensionals. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want some grass on the inside here. Okay, so I'm going to put some adhesive right along the side on the inside of the top of this basket right here. And then I'm going to attach my piece of grass right so it is right on the edge. And I'm going to flip it back over so I can push it down. Let it sit for just a second. Okay. All right. So there's my grass for my bunny. All right. So we're taking one step at a time here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to add a piece on the bottom of the basket. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the back side here. All right. And then we're going to lay that down. And I'll go over the measurements and everything once I get done, for those of you that are just joining. All right, so we're just going to put that right about there. I'm going to lift my basket up because I want to make sure I've got it straight and it's on there. All right, so we're going to lay that down. It's hanging over a little bit in the corners, but it's no big deal. All right, so far so good, right? Okay, now we're going to take Mr. Bunny Rabbit, and I went ahead, I stamped him in pecan pie, and I colored his little inside of his ears pretty and pink. So I want him, I'm going to cut him, because if you look at this one, I've got him where his arm is hanging out. So I'm going to cut him down so he's like leaning outside of the basket. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. I'm going to come in here. First of all, I'm just going to cut off this bottom part of his body. And then I'm going to cut up. And I'm going to try to get in here where I can cut up some of this white off a little bit. And we're going to trim that. Okay, then we're going to come up in here and we're going to trim right on the side because I want to stick him in there so he can reach like he's reaching over the basket. Okay, so I'm going to cut that up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to come over on this side and just cut a little bit. And then we're going to trim that out. Okay, and you just do whatever you got to do to get him to sit in the basket. You know, how you want him to sit, right? So I want him in the center. So I'm going to put him about like that, except for there's a piece of grass in his face, right? So I'm going to move him over one so we don't have that in his face. So let's move him like that. And then I'll glue him. I'm going to glue him down just like that. Okay? So I'm going to put some glue. Whoopsie. I'll put some glue on his arm and the back of his body. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue there. And of course, we want all of this to get glued down as well. All right. So we're going to put that on here. And we'll put him, we'll put him like that. What do you think? Okay, so we're going to do him like that. Now, I think I can go ahead and glue this down. We don't need the bunny's bottom side. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I've got glue on the bunny. And now we're going to pop up with dimensionals. I'm going to do small dimensionals. Actually, I'm going to do some larger ones down at the bottom. I'm going to just put 3. And then we're going to pop this down, and then we can go ahead and finish doing our basket. So I'm going to put 3 there, and then I'll put 1 on each end here. Let me get this out of the way for the moment. Fingers got glue on them. And then we're going to come in with some mini dimensionals, and we're going to end up cutting. I'm going to cut on the little strip right here. See that little strip? I'm going to cut on that. It's going to make it a lot easier for us to add some dimensional foam to hold it in place and pop it up. Okay. So I'm just going to cut little strips off. Now you can take the mini dimensionals and cut them in half if you want, but I think this is a little bit easier. So we'll just do that. So we'll cut another, whoop, he went flying. We'll put that right there. All right, so we're going to do a couple more little pieces of the dimensional, the foam. And this one, we're just going to kind of bend him a little bit to go there. And then we'll do a couple more little pieces here. And then we're going to pop it down And then we can finish our basket with our decorations. And then we're going to put one. I know this is when if you have fingernails, it might be a detriment. Like, hold on to it. Go ahead and take that piece off. And I probably should be using my tweezers, huh? Hang on. Let me get this little guy out of here. Okay. All right. So we're going to put this one right here. Let me do it this way. All right. So we got him there. Okay. So let me go ahead and pull the backings off. You think I would have done that, right? And then I'll clean off my disc. Hang on. I do have a little bit of fingernails, but not much. All right. Tweezers to the rescue. All right. So we're going to pull the tweezers. Get the paper off. All right. And then we've got this guy here. I know it's making it more complicated, isn't it? Okay. You get all these little sticky pieces out of the way. I don't want to lose my eggs because we have to put those in the basket. Okay. I think we've got them all off, right? Oh, wait a minute. We got to take these off. Got to take the large ones off. But come on. Gosh, everything wants to stick. What is going on with that? Hang on. God, you think I'm all thumbs here. Look at this. My backing doesn't want to come off the tape. It doesn't want to come off. Well, we're going to have to cut him. I think he'll be fine, but we're going to cut this one right off. Okay, there we go. There we go. That'll work. Okay. All right. Then we'll get these off. My goodness gracious. I don't think I've ever had dimensional backings that don't want to come off. What do you think about that? Sit down with your thumbnails. That makes it so much easier. And then we've got one more right here. Okay. All right. Let's make sure. Hold on a second. I'm going to move all these little pieces of paper out of the way. All right. Let's make sure we got all of these off. Yes, we do. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and add the bunny right on here. Actually, I put glue on him, but let's put a dimensional as well. We might as well have him popped up along with the rest of the group here. Right? I'll just stick, even though I got glue on it, it's okay. We're going to put one here on the ear, put one down here. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. And we'll put one right there. Okay. It might take him 20 minutes to put on dimensional, huh? All right, one more to go. Come on, brother. There we go. Now we can put him on the card. All right, so we're going to lay the basket on here. We're going to get it probably right about there. Make sure it's so I don't stick to my paper. All right, so we want to go ahead and get that lined up. Just about like that. Okay. Put those guys down. All right, now we're going to fill in with our carrots and our bow, and then we'll do a sentiment. So the carrots, I colored these in the Shy Shamrock with the peach pie. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive on these, and we're just going to tuck these down wherever we can tuck them in. So let's put one, we'll put one right here behind the bunny. Okay, and then we'll put another one. We're going to kind of make like a bunch of carrots. So we'll put a little bit of glue on that. And then we'll pop this one underneath, and we'll push him down a little bit lower. All right, and then we've got this other guy here. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll just add him over here. All right, and we'll pop this one. Let me get the grass up. We'll pop that one down. And he can just be kind of sitting on part of the basket. There we go. So we got those guys there. And then I'm going to take these Easter eggs and I'm going to tuck them in. And I'm just going to glue them down. Now they look, you know what, trim. I'm going to trim this a little bit. I might turn this one around. I think I'll put it in this way. Put one here, and then we'll put this little guy here. We'll tuck them in. We'll kind of lay them next to each other. So let's do, I don't know about that one, the dots on that one. I guess that looks fine. All right, let's do that. I'm going to put this one underneath because he's a lot smaller. Actually, let me do the blue. Let me do the brown one first. We're going to put a little bit of glue on him, and then we'll put that other one on either. And we'll just tuck him in here. We'll put him right there. And then this one, we'll put some adhesive on this one, and we'll tuck this one on top. And we're going to do it like this. Let's just kind of poke it under between the bunny and the other egg. There we go. That'll look like Easter eggs right there. There we go. All right, so there's that. And then we have our bow. So we're going to put a mini dimensional on this one. So let's grab one of those. And actually, we'll put two. We'll put one on each of the ribbon pieces. We'll put one right here. All right. Okay. All right, so we're going to put our little bow up here. We'll put it right about there. All right. And then we need to do our sentiment. So we're going to stamp Hello Spring in our white shamrock. All right, so we've got that over here. It's really tiny, tiny. So we're going to stamp that right on the end of this. Hello Spring. Okay, you can barely see it. It's that small. And then we're going to cut this. Let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to pull the paper trimmer in just so that I can make sure I get this cut straight. So we'll just bring it up here, and I'm just going to trim it, and then I'll cut it down. So we've got that in there. All right, so there's that. And again, this is on the Lemon Lolly cardstock. And so I'm going to cut this down here. And this one, I'm going to cut this a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a little bit too much. I'm going to hopefully get this straight. I'm going to just trim this part down here. And then I think you can clean the scissors. I'm going to trim that a little bit, and then we're going to make a banner cut. Oh, I got glue all over. All right, we're going to cut up the center, and then from corner in to corner in, and then pop that off. Okay. And then this one, we're going to lay, actually, we're just going to lay it down flat. So I'm going to glue this one down. All right, so we're going to lay that on here. And I'm going to push it over to the, right, I'm going to the edge of the card. How's that? We're going to cover up some of that grass. Okay. All right, so let's recap and then let that dry for a minute, and then we'll put this on. I'll show you all. Okay, so this is our gatefold. It's 8.5 by 5.5. You want to score at 2 1/8 on both ends of the cardstock. Okay, and then we're going to take 2 pieces of designer paper, and these are 2 inches by 5 3/8, and glue those down. And then on the inside, we just stamped and colored. And then this is the opening. So this is going to be an opening. So you're going to need 2 pieces of lemon lolly that are 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. So 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. You need 2 of those. And then you need 2 basic whites that are 2 3/4 by 4. And what I did was we took the 2 3/4 and folded it in half. And then we glued it down to one of the lemon lollies, and we had the fold in the center, so we butted them up so that we can get this. This is going to be our opening mechanism. So I'm going to lay it on here so that we can get the other flap folded in. So we're going to fold that in like that. Okay. And we can give this a bonus because this hasn't, really had a chance to lay flat. So let's just do that we'll do that real good. All right. And then there's our card. And then to open it, you slide this off. So you just push it up and it comes right off. And then there is your opening of your card. Now you could probably slide it on here if you want to close these two together. But honestly, I think it's easier if you just go from side to side and then just tuck them in. So let's do that again. We're going to just put it in there. You don't have to do much. It will automatically go in. And there is the front of our card. Isn't that cute? What do y'all think about that? Oh, that's okay. All right. So I'll make one more quick card. This is another one. So there's that one. Now what we want to do though on here, we're going to take some, this is the envelope. So we want to take some crumb tape and we are going to stamp our bunny. We're going to stamp him on the back of our envelope. So how's that? We just got the little bunny on the back. So when we close it up, he's all put together. All right. And then we've got one more card that I'll do real quick because it's a quickie. One of the pieces of paper that I showed earlier was there's two pieces of this, which are 12 by 12, obviously. And pardon me, we're going to cut this down. So let me bring in the paper trimmer. This won't take very long. Move this out of the way and pull that back into the piece. So this is 6 by 12, right? So I'm going to cut this down to 4. Let me see where I'm going. Yeah, 4 inches. So I'm going to cut this down 4 inches here. Okay. Now we're going to have to cut the sides down because we want it to be 4 by 5 1/4, right? So we've got 6. So I'm going to cut off some of this white. So I'm just eyeballing it. So we might cut off a little bit of the flowers. That's okay. All right. We're going to take that off and then we're going to come in here and we want this now we can do this at 5 1/2 if you want, because we're going to put it on a piece of Pretty in Pink. So and this is your 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Let's see. Let me do a quick fold here. We're going to do it landscape. So I think we should, because it's got white. Yeah, we're going to have to really cut that down. I think we should, well, we've already trimmed it. So I think we'll trim it down to 5 1/4 just to make it even on all sides. So let's get this cut down to 5 1/4, which is going to be there. So 5 1/2, 5 1/4 is right there. I don't know if I'm going to cut that much off. Let's see. Let's cut that. And where does that put us? That puts us at 5, a little over 5 1/4, and we'll just do a little smidge on this side. I'm trying to keep it easy. All right. So we take that. And since this is they've already done the work for us, right? So we don't have to do anything. We're going to glue this on here. So let's glue it down. This is, again, just a quick, easy card. All right. So we're going to put that on here. We're going to leave our little space and make sure that it's even. So we have our white border. Then we're just going to take this old bunny. We're going to put him right here. He's going to be, look, he got something on his belly. He got a piece of tape on him. Let's see if we can pull that off. There we go. All right. I'm going to lay him flat. I'm going to put him in the middle of the grass. And then, oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Let me, I got to get a piece of paper for his sentiment because we've got to do our sentiment. So let's check that real quick. And let's see, how big of a piece do I want? No, we don't want to add the bunny yet. Let's do our sentiment. Hang on. Let me get a piece that might be a little bit longer. Nope. Hang on. I got some scraps up here. If not, I'll cut a piece. Bear with me. There we go. All right, so we don't want this going quite. Let me trim this up. I think this will work right here. I'm gonna trim it so at least it's even. So y'all don't mind, we might be a few minutes over, but that'll be okay. All right, let's get that. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're gonna cut. We've got 2 Easter eggs we're gonna put with him. And we are going to, hang on a minute, okay, we're going to stamp Happy Easter. Let me get, oh, you know what? I don't think I pulled him out of the bag. Let me grab him real quick. Do we have Happy Easter? Yeah, we've got Easter's on its way. Okay. Happy Easter, because it's going to take us a good piece of that. And then we're going to set the bunny on top of this. So give me 1 minute here, you guys. Get a little block to put it on. Hang on. Don't go nowhere. Okay. So we're going to do, that looks great. It still looks like it's too wide, doesn't it? Hang on. I got to get this guy. Let's see. Let's make him 3/4 of an inch. That'll work. Actually, I'm making it 3/4 plus a knot. There we go. That should be great. There we go. That was perfect. Perfect. Okay. We're going to stamp this in Sky Shamrock, and we're going to put Happy Easter. So we're going to stamp this towards the right side because we're going to put the bunny on the other side. We're going to stamp that down. Happy Easter. And I think we're going to lay this flat and then we'll prop the bunny up. How's that? All right. So we're going to lay him on here. We'll put this down because I don't think I want it that long. Let's trim this down. That one's that. All right, let's do that. We're going to put him right here and move this over just a tad. And then we'll put the bunny rabbit here. We got to color his ears and we're going to put the Easter egg. So let's glue this down. This is just a quick, easy card you can make with those pieces that you just have to cut. Okay. All right. So let's do that. We're going to place that right about here. Don't want to cover up our flowers though. All right. So we got that. We got to color in the bunny's ears. So we're going to use the Pretty in Pink again. I'm going to just color the inside. Right like that. Now I'll do his little nose. We'll make that pink too. All right, so we've got that, and I think I'm gonna, now I think we'll lay him flat. So let's put him right there. We're gonna glue him down. Yeah, I think we should flatten him. We don't want him to get too, we don't want it to be too, all right, we got our glue. Let's put the bunny rabbit, he's gonna go right about here. And then he's got these little eggs, so we'll pop these up. We'll put these on little mini dimensionals as soon as I find them, because they're going to sit right in front of him. So let's do that. Put one there. And then we need one here. Excuse me. All right, so let's put one right here with the East Bunny like he's holding it. Let's see, we'll put one here. Oops, I'll take away his arm. And then we'll add one more. And we'll put that one right underneath. There we go. And then there is our second Easter card. Real quick and easy on that one. All right. So there we go. Let me bring in the other fun folding one. All right. So all the measurements have been given. And you've seen how to do this. So if y'all make this card, make sure you post and share with me. I want to see what you create. We may have to make some more cards using this opening, but isn't that the cutest thing? So there's our card using the Easter basket bundle. And then here's a quick and easy one using part of the designer paper that comes in that pack. So there you go. Hope y'all enjoyed this. If you have any questions, reach out. You can find the supplies that I've used in my online store, and the link is down below for the last 10 minutes. Oh, okay, Patty. All right, so there's our card. I hope you enjoyed these. We've got this fun opening card with a new locking mechanism. And then we just created, with one of the sheets of paper, we just cut one of the pieces off, create the background for our bunny that's sitting in the grass. All right, everybody, thanks again. I greatly appreciate you watching. Saturday, don't forget, if you have time to join me, it's Creation Anticipation. It's another sketch day. That will be Saturday morning, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be doing another sketch, and I'll do several examples using that sketch as well. Okay, everyone, thanks again for joining. Have a great week, and I'll see you Saturday morning. All right, everyone, have a good time. Have a good evening. Bye now.